In this video, I will rank what I think are the best modern Mercedes SL generations. The original 300 SL was when SL really stood for super light. When it appeared in 1954, it was one of the most advanced racing-derived road cars. Today, it's an automotive icon, and of course, it's the #1 SL. But how do the last 5 generations stack up against each other? The SL has become a GT cruiser with a greater focus on comfort and features. I'm looking at the design of each generation, what AMG models were offered, their impact in their time, and their legacy today. This is how I rank them in my opinion. Number 5. R107. Having an incredibly long life cycle of 18 years, the 107 had the longest production span of any SL. The development of this generation was led by a focus on the US market, which was its main customer base. The coupe version was called the SLC. The design was simple and elegant. Mercedes offered dependable inline 6s and V8s of various sizes, including the M116 and up to the 5-liter M117. The car was revised in the mid-1980s, including a new, more powerful 5.6-liter M117, which was desperately needed, but still not enough and only produced 227 horsepower. AMG did not modify that many 107s. Initially, they offered a few upgrades for the inline 6 engines and for the M117 engine, before working their way towards a more powerful 5.4-liter that made 306 horsepower. The 107 was the soft, comfortable cruiser compared to the other generations and was known for its good build quality. This car did have to work its way through the limitations of this era and thus was a little bit underpowered. It could also be a very attractive car in the Euro spec, but unfortunately the US regulations compromised so many of these SLs with the odd bumpers and lights. Overall, the R107 was not about high performance, but the comfort and quality was top-notch. Number 4. R232. The new generation is really centered on dynamics and performance, being the first SL with all-wheel drive. This is also the first time that the SL is only offered as an AMG model, with the 4-cylinder 43 model at the bottom of the range, while the SL55 and 63 are both powered by the excellent 4-liter M177 bi-turbo V8. If you want a hardtop, the new GT is the coupe version of this SL. This may be the fastest SL generation off the line and around the racetrack, but it's also one of the stiffest riding. The R232 has also ditched the folding metal roof of the previous generations and brought back the folding fabric top. We'll see how this generation shapes up, as it's still relatively new and AMG may add other models down the line. Nonetheless, the new SL is sportier than ever. Number 3. R231. Officially introduced in 2012, the 231 is focused on better driving dynamics compared to its predecessor. As part of the better dynamics, the car was lightweight compared to generations before or after, thanks to extensive use of aluminum in the car's structure. Again, the folding metal hardtop was the centerpiece, now with optional variable tint glass. The engine lineup was fresh for the 231, including a powerful M278 bi-turbo V8 in the SL550. Active body control hydraulic suspension was available, as well as a standard suspension with adaptive dampers. A facelift was added for the 2017 model year, as well as updates such as the 9-speed transmission in the SL550. The AMG models included a new SL63 with the M157 bi-turbo V8 with 530 horsepower that could be spec'd up to 577. At the top of the range, the SL65 was powered by the M279 V12 with 621 horsepower, finally paired with the 7-speed transmission, and that's quite a good pairing. Carbon ceramic brakes were also available for the first time on an SL. I think the R231 was a strong generation that really represented the end of an era with these big engines. These were dynamically good performers while still maintaining a good balance of comfort. The interior layout is focused on good materials and not a massive touchscreen. But this car didn't have the enthusiasm that its predecessors did, and it just didn't sell that well, with some models being pulled towards the end of production. Number 2, R230. Launching into the 21st century was the job of the R230, and it was a total success. From Steve Jobs to Jeremy Clarkson, the SL was the drive of choice. This generation was modern, but did well to integrate classic styling elements from the original 300 SL, such as the side vents. The folding metal roof made its debut on the SL, and it was a game changer that made this car more flexible than ever. While performance models were rare in previous generations, AMG went all out on the R230. The SL55 was the perfect package, with a 493 horsepower supercharged V8 to move the sleek but heavy roadster. The SL65 followed with an M275 biturbo V12 with over 600 horsepower. There was a minor update for the 2007 model which sharpened the styling, and then a bigger update came for the 2009 model. The final facelift added an SL63 with the M156 V8, meaning that it's the best sounding SL ever. AMG peaked in their madness with the introduction of the SL65 Black Series. With the V12 uprated to 661 horsepower, it's the most powerful SL ever. It's the only R230 to have a fixed roof and adjustable coilover suspension from the factory. The carbon fiber bodywork is the most aggressive ever seen on an AMG. It's a very special car with only 350 made. The R230 overall was a huge sales success, with the SL55 being one of the best-selling AMGs of all time. But the top spot is not possible for the R230, as it wasn't the best quality era, especially early on in this generation. Lots of new technology made the 230 impressive when it was new, but will require good care today, such as that hydraulic suspension. Nonetheless, the R230 was a very popular car and worthy of a high ranking. Number 1. R129. What other SL could take the top spot other than the 129? Introduced for the 1990 model year, it had a fully automatic convertible top and attractive styling. The engine lineup was impressive compared to the R107 it replaced, with a 322 horsepower V8 and later a 389 horsepower V12. It was the prized possession of Hollywood A-listers and royalty throughout the world. The quality and depth of engineering was second to none. AMG was quickly emerging in the 1990s and tuned quite a few different 129s, but overall these are still quite rare. An impressive SL60 with a 6-liter M119 was offered, with 375 horsepower, followed by a slightly less powerful M113-powered SL55. The V12 cars were uprated by AMG as well, including the flagship model, the SL73 with 525 horsepower. It's believed by most that only 85 of these were produced. Today, the best R129s, such as the SL73, are now prized collector's items, trading above $400,000 at recent auctions. Although, because the 129 was so popular, you can easily find reasonably priced SL500s in today's market. Many enthusiasts say it's the best generation. It was a huge leap from the cruiser that was the R107. The R230 brought lots of new technology and performance. However, the R129 is that perfect blend of old and new that makes it a great modern classic car to own and enjoy. I didn't include the classic models such as the W113 Pagoda and older because it's harder to compare these classic models that are so highly respected. But for the last 5 generations, the 129 takes first place. That's it for this video. Let me know in the comments what you think about this list, or if you think the order should have been different. I've made some more detailed videos on a few of these cars, so I'll leave a link to some of those videos in the description. Thanks for watching. If you want to support the channel, take a look at my store. Link is in the description. If you want to see more Mercedes and AMG content, subscribe for more videos like this one.